Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So I recently just passed my Red Hat System Administrator Certificate, exam 200B9 version 9, and I see a lot of people struggling to do the container part, and they are getting 0 or maybe like 30% on the container part. But I got 100% on it, and we're going to be practicing on how to do the container part. Now I'm not going to show you basically how to do it, but if you just do this, I'm 100% sure you could pass. So this is one of the questions that I will be using myself, and I will make it. I'm going to explain step by step on what to do. So the first thing that the question asks us from Red Hat, and the requirements are, is just to make a container and make it as a server. And if you can do that, that's 100%. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do it, and it wants us to do it for a user. So in here, I'll create a username, let's say Ali, and then I will set up a password for Ali, and that could be anything. So now what I will do, I will SSH into Ali, put my password in there, clear my screen. Okay, so now I'll create a folder. Let's say I'll name it container. Now I'll go to container, and then I'll go touch Docker file. The reason we're doing this is because in the exam you'll get a link, and you don't need to do this. But in here, since this is our home lab, we do not have access to that link, so we need to create our own container. So what I did, I went to ChatGPT. I was like, just give me a container, or you can find some in basically Google, or you can just create one yourself. But this is what I'm going to be using right here, this one. So now I'm going to create my container with the name that I want. So I'll go podman build -t. Let's say I'm going to name it container again. Dot. There we go. So now we are able to pull the image, and it successfully worked. So now I'll go Control-T, open my another tab, and the question that I have made myself, it wants you to create a file named opt Mohammed, going to opt incoming, opt jQuery, going to opt outgoing. So let's do that. So first I'm going to be creating opt Mohammed, and then mkdir opt jQuery. Now since it wants us to do it, I'm not going to create those two files in here. I'm just going to create the first two files that it asks me to do. And here, instead of doing chmod, sorry, not channel, because we still need to do channel. Instead of doing chmod, you might get a file permission, and you might say your file, you don't have access to it. So what are we going to do instead of doing chmod? We will do ACL. So in here, I'll go set facial -m-u. In here, I'll put the username Ali. I'll give it full permission of this file. Same thing with the other file, and then I'll give it child, basically the owner of this file, Ali, so we won't get any error. And then I'll also give it login CTO enable liner Ali, so we will have the full permission. Now this is done. So I'll go back to my Ali user when I'm SSHing to it. Now if I go here and go podman images, we see that this is the image that we pulled, but we want to work with this image. Why? Because this is our customization name that we created. So in here I'll go cd. So now in here I'll go podman run -dit -name. Now that name that we created was for the container. Now this is the server name. This is the name for our service. What name do we want to put? So in here I'm going to say RHCA. This is what the server is going to be running. In here I'll go -v, and then I'll go the file name. Then in here I'll go back to the question. What the question asks me, opt incoming, so incoming, and I'll put a capital Z. So what the capital D does is for security for Linux. Go -v again, and I will go my own last name, and then to outgoing. Oh, sorry, opt outgoing. Put -c, and now I will put the container name that we created earlier. So container press control, run it. There we go. So now you were successfully able to run this. So now I'm gonna create a for user. So I'm gonna go config sorry, config systemd and then user. Now I'll generate our server, so I'll go generate systemd dash dash name. I'm gonna put the same name that we want as our server, and then here new files. So there we go, we generated. Now let's move our container. So this is our container name to config user, and now I'm gonna go systemctl user Demian reload, and then systemctl users start our container name. There we go. And then I'm also going to enable it so the next time I reboot, it's automatically turn on and my server doesn't go down. So now I'll go status to check, and there we go. So that's the question. So I was able to make a container, and I was able to run that container as a server using these paths that I created for myself just for practice. Now this is the practice. I'm not sure how it's going to be. I'm not qualified to tell you guys how it's going to be on the exam, but this is sort of what it is going to be like. And if you just understand this, you should be fine, and you should be getting 100% on the exam. Thank you for watching. If any of you guys have any questions, put it below the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys.